Hi guys, in this session we are going to learn what is stage in Snowflake, how many types of stages are there, how we are using stage to copy the data into Snowflake, and how stages are managed in real time. These are the concepts we are going to learn in this session. In Snowflake, stage is a location where we are placing the files so that we can load those files into Snowflake. Meaning stage is a location. That location can be inside the Snowflake environment or out of the Snowflake environment. In our previous sessions, we discussed that we cannot load a file directly from our local machine to Snowflake table directly. Somehow we should move the file to the cloud. Once we place the files on the stage, then only Snowflake is going to pick the file from there to load the data into a table. Snowflake has two types of stages. One is internal stage, the other one is external stage. Internal stage meaning you are going to store those files inside the Snowflake data storage. We don't know where exactly it is going to store, but your file will be somewhere inside the Snowflake environment. That is called internal stage. Internal stages are three kinds. One is user stage, the second one is table stage, and the third one is named internal stage. Let's talk about user stage. Every Snowflake user will have a default stage for him. Meaning for that particular user, there will be a dedicated location where he can place the files and use them to load into Snowflake tables. If you place the file on your user stage, I cannot see them. I cannot access them because the files are private to your login. Table stage is something for every table will have its own table stage. If you place the files on that table stage, it means you are going to load those files only into that particular table. If you drop the table, then that stage will be dropped. Suppose if I want to load table X, I should place the files which I want to load on table X stage only. I cannot place on table Y stage because that stage is dedicated for the files which you are going to load into that particular table only. And the third one is named internal stage. This is for the team usage. If I place the file there and you can load that file into a Snowflake table. If you place the file on the named internal stage, I can use it to load in so and so table. So it means this is like permanent one. It is not local to a particular user or a particular table. So in real time, we use internal and external stages. So now let's go and see what is external stage. External stage is the location on the cloud, but this external stage is residing outside of the Snowflake environment. So this is also for the team usage. If I place the file on this stage, you can load that file in any Snowflake table. Let's see how to work with these stages. So once you finish the exercise, what I am going to show now, you will get great idea on the stages. Think that I have a file. File name is department.csv. Now our goal is we want to move that file to the user stage. Let's see how we are going to do that. Go to your SnowSQL prompt. So as I said, when you are practicing Snowflake, make sure you are using role account admin so that you will not get any issues with the privileges. What it means, we are using put command to place the file on user stage. User stage will be denoted with this syntax @ and after that tilde mark. And this is the subdirectory I am creating. Under this particular directory, I want to place this file. Now file is moved. So when Snowflake is placing the files on the stage, it is compressing and placing the file. Okay, now let's see what files are currently there on the user stage. So what's the command I should write? I should say list and then staged. This is my location where I have placed file. This is the file we just moved there. Now let's move this file, the department.csv, to the table stage. So how to do that? This is the command put, and this is my file location, and then so table stage will be denoted with this syntax @ and %. And you have to provide your table name. Use role account admin. Yeah, table already exists, but there are no records. Let's see where the file is moved to table stage. Yes, file is moved to the table stage. Now let's place the same file on internal stage. To do that, still we can use the put command. So let me use that. Since like it is a named internal stage, we have to create the stage first. So to create the stage, this is the command. I have created the internal stage. Stage meaning a named location. We don't know what's the exact path of that location, but Snowflake provides some location to place our files. Okay, so put, and this is my file name, and then this is my internal stage I just created. File got moved. Now let's see what file exists on the internal stage. Okay, so on the internal stage, we have moved this file from our local machine to internal stage. Now let's move the file to the external stage. I told you external stage is the location in the cloud environment, but not within the Snowflake. So to move the file from your local machine to the location which is on AWS, put command is not going to work. For that, we have to use our AWS CLI commands. Okay, first of all, we need to create a external stage. This is the command: create or replace stage and give a stage name. I am giving here stage name as my external stage, and this is the place where I want to place the file. On S3, this is my file location. So if I go to my AWS account, here I want to place that file, okay, and we have to provide the AWS credential. Okay, there are several methods. Instead of explicitly specifying the credentials here, we have another method that is called storage integration. So we will see in going forward sessions. So currently use this method, and let's create a stage. Stage got created. Now let's move our department.csv file to this particular location. To do that, we have to use the AWS CLI commands. Okay, this is the command AWS S3 copy, and this is the file that we want to move and to this particular location inbound. So where I should run this command? I should run this command on the terminal. File got uploaded. Now go to your Snowflake account and then refresh. So you got this file on external stage. Let's list the files which are on the external stage. My external stage name is my external stage. Now let's run. See, this is the result, meaning your department file exists on this external stage. Okay, let's summarize what we have learned. We know what is stage. We know there are two types of stages, and we know how to move a file, and we learn how to see what are all the files exist on these stages, right? Now the next topic is loading the files which we have uploaded on the stages into this table. Okay, now first we'll start with user stage to the Snowflake table. So this is the command: copy into your table name from this is your user stage, and you need to specify something about your file. File format is equal to, it is a CSV file and it has a file delimiter as 5, and the file has header. I want to skip it when I am loading. Let's run this command. File got loaded. So error seen is equal to 0. So let's check. Yes, data got loaded. Now let's load the file which is on table stage into the same table. To do that, this is the command. You don't need to specify table stage name. You just need to say copy into the table and then file format. So Snowflake knows if you don't specify the stage name, path name, where is your file, it means it understands that the file you have already placed on table stage. Let's run this command. Okay, it is saying records got loaded. So let's check. Now I should see 8 records. Now let's do the same thing with internal stage. So we already placed the file on internal stage. Now let's load the file which is on internal stage into this same table. It is saying records got loaded. Now let's check. Yeah, there are 12 records. 4 records from user stage, 4 records from table stage, 4 records we have loaded from internal stage. Now let's see how to load the files from internal stage. To load the file which is on external stage, we will have the syntax same. Copy into table name from your external stage name and then specify the file name, or you can just say /. Okay, so what it means, you are asking Snowflake to load all the files which are there under this particular location. Currently we have 1, but if you have 100 files, then Snowflake loads those 100 files into this. If you want to load a specific file, then give the name. Okay, the same case with internal stage as well. Okay, it is saying 4 records got loaded. Now I'm expecting 16 records. There are 16 records now. It means we are successfully loaded the files from all these stages into the same table. Suppose I want to again load the data. It will say 0 records loaded. Even though you drop the table and you are trying to reload, Snowflake is not going to reload it because this metadata will be maintained by Snowflake for 14 days. So in that case, you need to say force is equal to true. So this is the option. Let me execute this command. This time it has loaded. So I'm expecting 20 records in the table. We are good. Let's summarize. We have learned how to load the file which is on these different stages into the table. And we learned about the syntax we are using to perform the load operation. Now if you want to remove the files from our stages, so in real time we remove the files from the stage. So as soon as you load the file, and either you need to archive the files in a different location or remove the files from the stage. Okay. In real time, people archive the files which are already loaded. Okay, so how to archive the files? We use AWS CLI move command to move the files from stage location to some archive folder on the cloud. To load the files into Snowflake, the recommended one is external stage, because you will have a specific path and you have AWS CLI commands to perform more operations on the files. Okay, however, to remove the files, so you are able to successfully remove the files. Okay, this file exists on your table stage. Let's remove. File is removed now, and let's remove the file from your internal stage. Department file is removed from the internal stage. So remove the file from external stage. Now go and check on your AWS location. Say refresh, file is gone. Okay. Instead of submitting remove command separately, if you want to purge the file once that file is loaded into the table from either from internal stage or from external stage, you can use this option purge is equal to true. Now we have a function called validate. This particular function helps us to know the status of your load operation. It has a syntax select star from table and validate, and this is the table which you have loaded the data into, and you need to provide the query ID of your copy operation. Okay, no errors, so that's why it has produced 0 records. Suppose if there is any failure, you might have seen a list of errors with that particular file. Okay, in the coming session, we will learn how to create a file format object which helps us not to specify file properties like this everywhere, because it's confusing, right? So for now, for practice, it is okay, but in real time, it's very difficult to manage all this stuff. So Snowflake is providing a file format object to give a name to file properties. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing this channel, and please take care.